Too.
Hi, I'm Molly Ellenberg from the Atlanta region, and welcome to my classroom at DM Therrell School of Health Sciences and Research. I actually worked with another Teach for America teacher last year. She was an 06 Corps member, and we came up with essential questions to package all the standards that made it a lot more meaningful and actually brought the students up a lot onto higher levels of blooms. So currently we're studying Latin America, and the essential question is what happens to a region when the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. With these essential questions, it allowed us to teach all the standards, but in a much more relevant way to the kids. When they were coming in here, they weren't just taking notes and sitting through a class, but rather they were detectives, and every day we were working towards finding that answer. Above you can see my word wall. Those are words that we've learned within the regions, just keywords that they can look in. It will remind them of lessons that we've had on them. If you come over here, this is an activity. There are a few posted around the room that I did in the beginning of the school year. On the very first day, when I was setting my high expectations for the students, I felt it was important, but before I even spoke about what I wanted from them, I thought they needed to tell me what they expected from a teacher. So I actually had them write on a post-it everything that they expected from me, and I leave it here because this is where I have everything locked up. So multiple times a day I'm over here, and it reminds me what I need to do. So having good attitude, teaching us, helping them out. This is really good, and it keeps me honest. In here is probably the most useful thing that I've ever had, and this is another piece of advice that I picked up from last year's second-year Corps member. Binders to organize the students. I do not know what I would do without these. The students on their first day in this class, they got this binder, and every new student that joins us gets one. Each class has their section, and they know to come in, grab their binder, have a seat, and do their catalyst. If you come over here, it is probably the most important part of my classroom, and to the kids, what the first thing that they look at, even though they're supposed to be doing the catalyst. This is Period Olympics. This is where all of my classes compete against each other. I keep track how they do on quizzes, assessments. Sometimes if they've had homework, I'll put in percents of homework to see, wow, you only have 15% turned in, but someone else has 100. But it helps me keep track of where they're doing, how much they've gone up or down, so we can see maybe I didn't do as good a job teaching on quiz 2 because the averages were a little lower, so I knew what standards I had to step it up for when they went to go take the test on Africa. We give a shout out to the A students, this really motivates them. They see which classes are doing well. They know they get goodies. I use some old-fashioned tricks, cheap tricks in here to get them motivated as well. Usually the winners get candy. But it's a really big honor to them to have their names up here. They all try to write their name up, but also to be the class with the highest average. So actually over here, this class, who normally does really, really well, they had gone way down on quiz 2. They went down to a 76%, and everyone else, nobody went below an 80 on that. And so they were really upset. We had a team meeting about in class, and they really rallied, and on their test, they ended up getting the second highest average. They went up 15% to a 91, and every single one of the names listed here got an A. So they really stepped up their game, and I think a lot of it was looking at this and saying, wow, our class really did do a lot worse compared to everyone else, and it really motivated them to step up. Over here, we have, they got really into the election last semester. It was a really exciting time to be teaching American government. And so we were learning about our civic duties and responsibilities, and the majority of my students are under 18, so they couldn't vote. But I told them they would get extra credit if they made other people go vote. So they got really excited and brought in their little voter stickers, and they got extra credit for doing that. Here's a sample of my performance assessments. Every single time I do a traditional assessment, I do a performance assessment as well. I know not everyone is the best test taker, so this shows me how they're doing as well. They do get to use their notes, but a lot of it is skills and going way higher up on blooms. So this is actually the summative assessment from last semester in American government, and they had to make an American Government for Dummies books, and they had their front cover and their back cover, and in it, here's the rubric for it. They had, in addition to just telling me about the 3 branches, they had to really go ahead and evaluate why does this system work, and they had to give an argument for what was good about it, for limited government, rule of law. So I hit on the key prioritized standards in here, but also skills. There was a lot of persuasive writing, timeline, and things like that. Over here is the rewards for meeting expectations in Ms. Ellenberg's class and the assistance in meeting, and over here we have the expectations. All I ask of my students is they're respectful, engaged, and prepared. And that is a complete tour of my classroom. Thank you.